Hello folks, this is Sula again, and you're listening to a commentary video on League of Legends, this one featuring Annie. At the end of the last video, I was in the bottom lane, picking up and holding this lane against a Taric and a Pantheon player, and as you might notice, I'm playing very, very defensively because their team has double stuns, and if I come forward, they are going to stun me and then kill me. So like I'm going to come forward to get this last creep, and then notice what happens. Pantheon jumps on me, stuns me, and with his Heartseeker Strike and then a Spear Toss, he's able to do almost half my life damage just off that initial stun. So again, you see why I have to play so cautiously. I absolutely have to stay back by the tower. Now again, with there being two of them in the lane is going to push. So what I need to do is stay back by the protection of my tower and last hit at the tower. I know that this can be frustrating for a lot of people, but it's better than dying and getting killed. Anyway, we now have Mookie and Donsky coming down from the river, and so we are going to try to get these guys. And that's why I'm saving my spells, because my stun's up. However, they're going to retreat, and that's the smart play on their part. Otherwise, we would have killed them. So unfortunately, I do miss out on all the experience from those minions up at my tower, but oh well. You have to go with the flow of the game, not always with what's ideal. Now we are going to back off and pick another target. I wasn't exactly sure, but unfortunately, Donsky has walked into an ambush. He's gotten stunned and hit by Katarina, and so I'm going to drop my ultimate right into the middle of the team. And now in comes the Shen ult. We almost managed to get Taric and Shen. Almost managed to get Taric and Pantheon. We don't manage to get them. They do manage to burst me down and kill me, but we managed to take out... or no, we did manage to get Pantheon, excuse me. But we managed to get Pantheon and we managed to get Shen. There's Katarina and Taric that limp out of there. So anyway, I got off a really good ult there. If Shen hadn't used his own ult to come in there and protect them, we probably would have killed all of them. So we trade 2 for 2, but I think that exchange still benefits us overall because they were able to... get Donsky pretty easily. Donsky just unfortunately turned a corner into the wrong place, and he was pretty much dead before the fight even started, and then we were able to go 2 for 2, or we were able to go 2 for 1 after that. The other team did the right thing in focusing me. That's what you want to do. You want to focus down Annie. Obviously, if the choice is between going after Mordekaiser and going after Annie, you want to go after Annie. So they did the right thing to focus me down, but I was able to get off a pretty good Tibber stun. I hit 3 of them with my ult and got the stun off. So that worked out pretty well. And now with the rest of the team having gone back to heal and Mookie having pushed the bottom lane, we are going to come forward and we're going to take this dragon, and we're going to get this dragon uncontested by the enemy team. I'm coming down to help if need be, but as it turns out, we don't even need it. Donsky smites it, and we get the extra gold and extra experience. So we're now up 2 dragons to none by their team. And there we see Katarina moving around, and we're hoping she's going to come forward onto the river so we can jump out and get her. But no, she tossed her bouncing blade into the middle of us. So they probably had a ward there, or she just saw us move in there, one or the other. Anyway, let's see. I am going to move up here, and because I had 1 extra ward, I wanted to drop it up by Baron. Again, not expecting them to Baron at 17 minutes, but the extra sight is helpful. And I'm coming up here to try and help out here on the top lane. Pantheon jumps in, and he jumps in and stuns Warlord. So that's a nice play by their Pantheon. And the Amumu was able to kill Ape, so now there's no one in the top lane except for me. So I'm back to my old 2 versus 1 lane again. But you can see I was able to farm up those minions, and now I've got my stun. So if they come forward aggressively against the tower, I will use my ultimate on them and try to get the kill. And I can hold this 2 versus 1 pretty easily. So I'm still holding my stun, and there I actually miss on the stun, unfortunately. I totally whiff on the Tibber ult, but did do some pretty good damage. And now Donsky's coming in, and he's using his Ice Blast to slow Amumu. Amumu does not have much escapability. There's a nice Donsky ult. You can see he manages to kill Amumu, and then now we're going after Shen. I get in my stun, and together between the two of us, we're going to finish off Shen. So we managed to get 2 kills back in order to make up for the 2 deaths that we took a moment ago, and we also got them to waste a pretty pointless fortify on their side. Those summoner spells are precious, you don't want to waste them. So that was very nicely done by Donsky. Obviously I couldn't have gotten any kills without Donsky's help, but he came in at just the perfect time from his jungling and was able to allow us to get those 2. So well played. Anyway, now I'm going to go back to buy, and I think the next item I was going to go towards... Not sure which item I was going for next, so in the meantime, I'll just hold on to that 400 gold. It's probably a suboptimal play. I should have picked up probably a ward or 2 here. Would have been the better play. Now, Taric and Pantheon were pushing on that top tower again, and so Ape was asking for some help, and I was like, Warlord, you or Donsky, you guys are both, much closer than I am, so they're going to head up there. and they're going to deal with that. In the meantime, I'm going to go down here to this lane, push it back, and do a little bit of extra farming. Remember, anytime that you're by yourself in a lane, you want to try to get every single creep. Anytime you're free farming, you should try to get every minion. I mean, you won't, but that's the ideal. So as you can see, I'm going to make sure I get each of these melee minions. And here, I could get each of the caster minions, but now I'm in a hurry. I'm trying to get out of this lane, so I'm going to fire off Incinerate, and I actually only get 1 out of the 3. So blah, that's a poor play there. But I was trying to get up to the middle lane because I knew that there was a fight breaking out, and I wanted to get back to the rest of the team. So that's why that happened there. That's my excuse anyway. Here, Katarina and Amumu are going after Muki, and that's actually a pretty nice stun by Amumu. But I get off my own good counter stun instead, and you might say I should be focusing on Katarina, but I knew that Amumu was much closer to death, and you can see how close Muki's ult is to killing him, and oh, he goes down to 15 health, but is not quite finished off. Now, because I have Tibbers here to tank for me, I'm going to do some crazy tower diving of my own, and so that's going to enable me to get Katarina, who for some reason tried to ult me. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess she thought she could kill me, but didn't happen. So Amumu slips away, but we do manage to kill Katarina, which is kind of funny because I was focusing on Amumu. Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. He actually went down to 15 HP out of 1,500, 1% of his life, but he did survive, so credit to him for getting out of there. And let's see. Oh, next I'm going to head over to the blue buff because it's come back up. And I currently have no cooldown reduction on Annie, so it'll be very useful. It'll take me up to pretty close to the max of cooldown reduction. So here I go. I'm going to go out to this golem. And if you watched my last Warwick video, you saw me get ganked and killed at one point because I didn't pull the golem back into the brush with me. So I'm going to make sure to try to do that in the future, even in a situation like this, which is pretty safe. But unfortunately, oh, I'm out of mana. I can't cast spells. So even though the golem's down to just 1,000 life, I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. So when I get down to 100 health, I have to back out. I don't want to get killed by the golems. Needless to say, that would be really stupid. So yeah, that was not well done. Apparently, I needed more health and more mana to do this. Instead, Muki's going to come down. He's going to help me get this golem buff. So kudos to Muki for rescuing me from my mistake there. I'm just going to auto attack until it's low enough for me to kill with a single one of Annie's disintegrate bolts. And so look, there we go. And Muki, because of Mordekaiser's shield, takes essentially no damage at all. So Annie, not too good at doing the neutral buffs as a character. Can really benefit from some health. All right, I'm going to pick up a blasting wand. I'm still hadn't decided at this point what my next item was going to buy. I'm going to cycle through 2 spells at the fountain, something I'm trying to do more often with Annie. If you're Annie and you're up at the fountain, you really should cycle towards your stun if it's not already up. I've said before in a couple of other videos, my favorite place to be with Annie is at 4 on her spell progression, because then she can cast E, her E spell, Molten Shield, and then that immediately has your stun ready to go after that. So you can go E and then immediately into Annie's ult, and then you're going into battle with extra armor and magic resistance. And also, people don't see your stun. People don't see the little white swirl around your stun. So people will sometimes play more recklessly because they think you don't have your stun up, when in reality you actually do. Anyway, so that I've mentioned that before. Now I come here into middle lane first to push back Katarina, and then next to do some farming. I didn't realize that we were getting involved in like a really big fight up top, and now I see people starting to die, so I'm going to rush up there. But you can tell I'm off. My timing is late. I should have been there sooner. If I had gotten there sooner and ulted into that, we probably could have won that battle. Instead, we've taken 2 deaths. It was 4 versus 5, so I was out of position there. That's my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Now you can see Taric comes forward and goes after me here. I probably should ult, and there we go. I get off a pretty good ult on Taric, but the other team's Shen uses his ultimate to protect him, and so that's going to prevent him from dying. So well played by their Shen. You can see I'm still doing a lot of damage, but with 5 of them being there, I'm not quite able to get a kill. And again, I've got my stun up, so I'm going to stun Amumu right next to the tower, and he's going to take 2 tower shots, but unfortunately it's not enough to kill him, and I can't run forward to engage by myself. Well, Muki's here, but you can see how damaged Muki is too. Muki's almost dead, so the 2 of us really can't do anything other than stay back and protect the tower. As soon as the rest of the team gets here, we can probably come out and fight them, but until then, we just have to stay back and guard them. So some misplays there. It's not that my ult was misused. The problem was just that I needed to get up there earlier, so that was a failure on my part in terms of map awareness, leaving the rest of the team to fight a 4 versus 5. Anyway, they're all recalling now. The enemy team's all recalling back to base, so we were like, okay, well, if they're all going to recall back to base, we can, maybe we can push this lane forward a little bit. And so now that there's no fight immediately incoming, I can cycle through my my spells. So now Katarina's going to come forward, but then she wisely backs off. They use a Fortify. Shen uses Teleport, so they burn a Fortify and 2 teleports. And granted, that means we have to back off, but we got them to use a lot of summoner spells again. And those Fortifies are on a 5-minute cooldown, so anytime you can get them to burn a Fortify when they don't really need it, that's well done by your team. So I think that even though we didn't get anything out of that push, I think it was still worthwhile. Of course, the one thing is now the enemy team is going to counter push us. They're going to go after that tower, but that tower is almost dead anyway, so I don't think that was really that big of a loss. You can see there goes the tower goes down, but that tower was down to like 10% of its health, so I don't think it was that big of a deal. Maybe we shouldn't have gone after their tower. Maybe then we could have held it. So it's debatable. I think that was pretty well played though. Okay, picking up here. Now the fight's going to shift somewhere else other than top lane, at least for the moment. I'm going to come forward and try to get these minions. It's always fun when Annie's Incinerate hits like 5 minions at once, like you saw there, and then they all get stunned. And there, oh, I actually did manage to get that minion. There I actually managed to get them with my auto attack, so that's kind of interesting. You can see there's a lot of them here. I'm just going to pop off Amumu's Banshee's Veil. That was the whole reason I did that. I just wanted to get rid of that. So now if there's a team fight, yeah, that'll be down, and I'm free to stun him, or anyone else is free to stun him, or whatever spell effect we want to use. Here, again, I'm still trying to save my spells. That's why you see me just auto attacking and not casting any of my spells here, as I'm right at the 4 spell cast, which is where I like to be. And we were anticipating a team fight breaking out here, so I'm anticipating a fight in mid. I want us to have more sight. I'm going to drop a ward on each side of the battlefield just to prevent us from being flanked. I think it's worthwhile to do that. Now, again, looking for an opportunity to initiate, just waiting to see someone get caught forward. And here, I'm able to catch Amumu too far forward, so we're able to take him down very quickly. Katarina's using her ultimate, bouncing blades, but we're able to kill her quickly. Donsky's ult takes out someone else. Now I'm able to stun Amumu, and I know that they're going to be able to get Pantheon, which is why I'm concentrating on Amumu. So we're able to get a stun on him. My stun allows us to kill him. I finish him off. Ice Blast from Donsky slows Pantheon, and we score an ace. So that was pretty well done there. We just fought together well as a team. I think I got off a pretty good stun to initiate, and then we were able to set everybody up so that Ape and Warlord could use their respective skills and just start doing all kinds of damage. Now, with the enemy team dead, that means free Baron. So we are going to take it. 26 minutes is a little early, but with all 5 people here, we're going to be able to do Baron. Ape needs to get out of there because he's about to die, but he does do that, so well done. Tibbers is doing a pretty good job of tanking for us, doing his extra damage, and so we're going to get the Baron, and then that means it's time to get out of there. Once you finish off Baron, you can either recall immediately, like Warlord and I do, or you can back around to the side. The trade-off is it's safer if you back around to the side, but you get out of there faster if you just immediately recall. And now I've decided that with that extra gold, my next item is going to be Zanya's Ring. So I pick up the Needlessly Large Rod, and along with Baron buff, that takes me up to 260 ability power, which is a very nice place for Annie to be at this stage of the game. And I'm going to be doing a lot of damage. There you can see the statistics. I've done a pretty good job of farming, as I should do, being in a solo lane and playing as Annie. Now next, we're going to come over here and we're going to get me the blue buff again because it's back up. And because I'm getting the blue buff, it allows me to skip on cooldown reducing items. I've just decided in this game I'm going to be taking the blue, and that'll allow me to skip something like Frozen Heart or Glacial Shroud. Alright, anyway, we're up again to the end of this video. So once again, thanks for watching, and we're going to continue this video in part 3.